For today's recipe, we're going to prepare these delicious brisket tacos. To prepare this recipe, we're going to start by removing the brisket from the packaging. Then we're going to give it a good rinse. Then we're going to trim off some of those gooey pieces on the brisket. This piece has a nice layer of fat, but we're not going to trim off any of the fat because that's what's going to add flavor to the tacos. Then we're going to take it over to the cutting board and cut it into 4 to 5 inch pieces. Before we season the meat, we're going to make crisscross cuts on the top and the bottom of the meat. This is going to help absorb some of the seasonings, and it's also going to speed up the cooking process. To season the meat, we're only going to use black pepper, salt, and garlic powder. Generously season both sides of the meat. The amount of seasonings you use can vary depending on the size of your brisket. This recipe can also be prepared in an InstaPot, slow cooker, or on the stove top. But since we're making so much of it, we're going to take it outside and prepare it in a concave Mexican comal. Before we place the meat into the comal, we're going to melt 1 pound of lard. You can also use vegetable oil, but using lard is going to add much more flavor to your tacos. Once the manteca is completely melted, we're going to begin to arrange the meat into the comal. Once we're done arranging the meat in the comal, we're going to add 4 cups of water, or as much water as you can fit in the comal. If you're making it in the InstaPot on the stovetop or in the slow cooker, add enough water to where it's completely covering the meat. And now the cooking process begins. This process can take anywhere from 2 to 3 hours. During the cooking process, turn the meat over every 20 to 30 minutes. And while we wait for the meat, we're going to go inside and prepare a delicious salsa to go with our tacos. To prepare the salsa, we're going to fry 1 ounce of chiles de arbol, 2 chile negros, and about 6 garlic cloves in half a cup of olive oil. Fry them for about 1 to 2 minutes with frequent movement, making sure that they don't burn, otherwise you're going to end up with a bitter sauce. After 1 to 2 minutes, turn off the burner, but keep moving the peppers around until the oil completely cools down. Then we're going to transfer everything to the blender, including the oil. This salsa comes out very spicy, so if you're not a fan of spicy salsas, you can find a link of more salsas in the description of this video. Add half a cup of water and salt to your liking, and blend until it's nice and smooth. Transfer it to your favorite salsa dish and add half a cup of water to the blender to get the remainder of the salsa that's stuck to the side of the glass. Then add it to the salsa as well. Mix it in, and now it's ready to enjoy with our tacos. Our meat has been cooking for about an hour. At this point, we're going to add 10 ounces of longanisa. Many of you may know it as Mexican chorizo. The difference between longanisa and chorizo is that longanisa has a much firmer texture, and it's also great for grilling. Remove it from the package, but we're going to leave the casing on. We're going to place it into the comal with the rest of the ingredients. The longanisa is going to fry with the meat, and as it fries, it's going to release a lot of the flavor from the longanisa, and it's going to penetrate into the meat as well, which is going to add so much more flavor to the meat. During the cooking process, if the water simmers down too much, it's okay to add more water as needed. I did add an additional 4 cups, but as you can see, it simmers down quite quickly. Once it reaches this point, we're not going to add any more water, and we're just going to let the meat fry in the oil. After 3 hours of cooking time, remove a few pieces at a time and chop it into small pieces. You can do it all at once, or you can do a few pieces at a time. And the longanisa that we added, we're also going to remove that. And as you can see, it's still intact, but it's fully cooked. We're going to chop it up and add it to the mixture as well. Once we're done chopping up the meat, we're going to take it back outside and place it into the comal once again. And we're going to let it fry for an additional 30 minutes. These comals come very handy when making tacos because you can take advantage of the middle portion to fry up some green onions or some calabacitas. And when your meat is done, you can also take advantage of all those delicious flavorings and use it to warm up your tortillas. And now for the moment that we've been waiting for all day. Let's prepare some delicious tacos. And for toppings, we're going to go with the traditional cilantro and onion, because that's pretty much all you need for these delicious tacos. Oh, and don't forget to drizzle with a little bit of lime juice to enhance all those delicious flavors. And top it off with that delicious spicy salsa. This salsa was the perfect salsa to go with these delicious tacos. And now for my favorite part, the taste test. For your next Taco Tuesday or any day of the week, give this recipe a try because they come out absolutely delicious. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in our next video.